Welcome to The Remedy with Dr. Rani Whitfield, where medicine, music, literacy, and other hot topics meet. I'm your host, Dr. Rani, aka the Hip Hop Doc, and before we get into today's episode, I've got to take a moment to honor my beautiful, brilliant, and best-dressed wife, Miss Kiara Whitfield. Not only is she an incredible businesswoman, but she's being honored twice this year, named one of Baton Rouge's Best Dressed of 2025, and a 2025 Great Futures honoree. She truly earned it. Every single day she moves with style, grace, and power. Kiara, I see you, I love you, and I appreciate everything you do. This episode is dedicated to you because if anyone knows how to take care of a heart, it's you. So happy Valentine's again, babe. Fam, it's American Heart Month. It's Valentine's season, and today we're talking about the realest thing you'll hear this month, how your emotions affect your actual heart. We're breaking down heart disease, stress, relationships, and real ways to keep your heart strong. Let's get it. First, I want to share with you a story that forever changed how I see heart health. There was an elderly couple, deeply in love, inseparable. The wife was in great shape, dedicated to caring for her husband who was battling heart disease and colon cancer. He fought hard, but on his last visit with me, he looked at me and said, "Doc, I'm tired of fighting," and I knew then what was coming. His wife had always kept up with her health because, as I reminded her, if something happens to you, who's going to take care of him? She smiled and promised to stay strong, but 2 weeks later, he passed. She handled his death gracefully, from funeral arrangements to family guests, cooking, cleaning. She was calm and prepared the entire time. But the very next morning, I got a call stating that she had passed away in her sleep. The family requested an autopsy because they were wondering what happened to a woman who had been so healthy for so many years. The autopsy showed no blockages in the blood vessels to her heart. She did, however, have a ballooning of the left ventricle, and that's when I knew broken heart syndrome isn't just a saying, it's real. The heart isn't just a muscle, it's where love lives. And sometimes when love leaves, the heart just can't take it. Now let's talk about the science behind this broken heart syndrome, also known as Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. This is a real medical condition, and it happens when extreme emotional stress, like death of a loved one, sepsis, sudden shock, or even a breakup causes the heart to weaken. It actually mimics a heart attack, but there are no blockages, just stress hormones flooding the body and overwhelming the heart. It happens mostly in women over 50, but it can happen to anyone. That's why stress management isn't just about mental health, it's about survival. Love can heal, but stress can kill. Heart disease is the #1 killer of all Americans in the United States. According to the American Heart Association, in 2022, we lost 941,000 people to cardiovascular-related diseases. The crazy part, that number continues to increase. And this isn't just about health, it's about an economic crisis. By 2050, heart disease is projected to cost the U.S. $1.8 trillion a year. That includes hospital bills, medications, and lost productivity from people dying too young. And let's talk about who's affected most. Black Americans have the highest rates of hypertension in the world, increasing our risk of heart disease. Men are more likely to suffer heart attacks earlier in life, and women have a higher risk of heart disease post-menopause and are often misdiagnosed because of the presentation of symptoms. So when we talk about American Heart Month, this isn't just about raising awareness. It's truly a wake-up call. So how do we actually keep your heart strong? If you want to keep your heart strong, here's what you got to do. #1, move your body. You don't have to be a marathon runner, but 30 minutes of movement a day cuts your risk of heart disease dramatically. Walk, ruck, dance, lift, but just move. The American Heart Association recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity per week. So roughly 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Movement improves vascular elasticity, lowers blood pressure, and enhances insulin sensitivity, reducing the risk of metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes, both of which are major contributors to cardiovascular disease. Weight training also plays a role. Studies show that resistance training strengthens the heart muscle, improves circulation, and reduces arterial stiffness. For those short on time, high-intensity interval training can be an efficient alternative, offering similar or even superior benefits in less time. The bottom line is that find what you like, enjoy, and stick with it. We have to eat for our hearts. Omega-3s from fish, fiber from veggies, less processed and ultra-processed food. You can't work out a bad diet. It's what you do consistently that matters. Your diet is either fueling longevity or accelerating disease. Let's start with omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmons, sardines, and mackerel, which reduce inflammation and lower triglycerides, a key factor for heart disease. Fiber, especially soluble fiber from vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, binds to cholesterol in the gut, reducing bad cholesterol, what we call the LDL cholesterol levels. This helps prevent plaque buildup in arteries. So what should you limit? Ultra-processed foods, packaged snacks like sugary cereals and fast foods. These are loaded with trans fats, refined carbs, and excessive sodium, which drive hypertension, insulin resistance, and systemic inflammation, a dangerous combination for our heart. Instead of restricting, focus on adding more heart protective foods like leafy green vegetables rich in nitrates for blood vessel health, berries like antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress, nuts and seeds, the healthy fats for cholesterol balance. A heart-healthy diet isn't about perfection, it's about consistency over time. And we've got to protect our peace. Toxic relationships, let them go. Chronic stress, manage it. Your heart doesn't care about your drama, it just wants to beat without working overtime. Here's what the research tells us about chronic stress, which triggers cortisol release into the body, increasing blood pressure, promoting fat storage around the organs, and raises the risk of heart disease. Even if you're eating right and exercising, unchecked stress can undo a lot of that good work. Sleep is another major player. Less than 6 hours of sleep a night increases your risk of hypertension, arrhythmias, and heart attacks. Quality sleep is when your blood pressure naturally dips and your heart gets a break. And let's not forget the role of community and relationships. Loneliness and social isolation are linked to a 30% higher risk of heart disease and stroke. Why? Because emotional stress impacts your autonomic nervous system, keeping your body in a state of fight or flight instead of rest and repair. What can you do? Set boundaries with people who drain your energy. Practice breath work or mindfulness to regulate stress responses. Prioritize sleep as a non-negotiable for heart health. Your heart isn't just a pump that beats 100,000 times a day. It's a reflection of your lifestyle, habits, and even your emotional well-being. So move, eat well, and protect your peace, because a strong heart is a long-lasting heart. Let me hit y'all with what I'm reading to and vibing to this week. Right now, I'm reading The Heart Speaks. A cardiologist reveals the secret language of healing by Dr. Mimi Garnieri. This is a fascinating book that explores the emotional, spiritual, and psychological aspects of heart disease. Dr. Garnieri blends science, personal patient stories, and holistic healing practices to show that the heart is more than just a pump. It's deeply connected to our emotions and our overall well-being. What am I listening to? I'm vibing to Stevie Wonder's songs in the Key of Life, a timeless masterpiece that captures highs and lows of life, love and everything in between. The opening track, Love is in Need of Love Today, Stevie sets the tone for the entire album with this soulful plea for kindness and compassion. Love is powerful, but it's also fragile, so let's protect it. All right, fam, that's a wrap for today's episode. Remember, your heart isn't just for Valentine's Day, it's for life. Treat it right, eat well, move your body, protect your peace, and love deeply but wisely. Before I go, one more shout out to my queen, Mrs. Kiara Whitfield. Your love, your strength, your style, everything about you is top tier. Thank you for being my inspiration every single day. And to all my listeners, if you've enjoyed today's episode, like, subscribe, share, and leave a review. Join me every Sunday for a new episode of The Remedy with Dr. Rani Whitfield. You can check me out at h2doc.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio fix. And remember, we are born looking like our parents, but we die looking like our decisions. Make the right ones for your heart. I'll see you next Sunday. It's the Hip Hop Doc. They call me H2D. Come on, y'all. Let's get hip hop healthy. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
The content on The Remedy with Dr. Rani Whitfield is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider for personalized medical guidance. Dr. Rani Whitfield is a licensed family physician, but the information provided on this podcast should not replace professional medical consultation.